Hi everyone. So today we'll take our weekly current affairs. So as we know how we take the current affairs, so majorly concentration will be around the analytical part, so not the factual one exactly. So this will be for the both for the prelims perspective and also for the mains perspective. So here, so the important topics were covered in the topics of this week, especially the topics like the row over giving a reservation to SC Dalit and SC Christians, and other topic that is death penalty, and also the other topic about the hijab row, either it is in the Iran or in the Karnataka. So these three topics were, you can follow the channel, in the YouTube channel there is short videos of around 15 to 20 minutes about these topics. Okay, I'm repeating guys. So the topics: reservation to the Dalit Muslim and Dalit Christians. So that topic, and also the hijab topic, and also the death penalty topic. Those are issue based topics that were dealt clearly in a separate videos which you can refer to the YouTube channel. Now we'll take other comparatively simpler topics. Okay. So here the topic is a blended biodiesel. So first of all, so why it is in the news? Why it is in the news? So the aviation department, so they want to include 10% of blended biodiesel for 200 flight hours in the next 6 months. So the Indian Air Force, they wanted to modify the aviation turbine fuel. So they use this aviation turbine fuel. So they want to blend it with 10% of biodiesel. So they already had tested it with, in December 2018, they tested it, and further 100% sustainable aviation fuel they want to generate and use it in all its commercial aircrafts by 2030. This is the target. They already tested it. And now the present one, it was going to be the 10% blended one in the 200 flight hours. So this is in news. So, but what we have to concentrate here is, what is biodiesel? First of all, what is biodiesel? Do we have any policy for it? If so, what it is? So how we generate this biodiesel or ethanol? So how these biofuels are generated? How we are making them? So first, so what is this biofuels? The term itself, it's biofuels. So they will be made from an organic matter in a shorter period of time. See, first of all, if you take the petroleum or the coal or other purposes, we are using the diesel, the petroleum. So they are majorly for the over long period of time. So we are having those are the mineral resources that were generated by that were in our earth crust from longer times, from years and years. It took for them to form. So, but here these are the organic matter and developed in a short period of time. So what type of biofuels will have biodiesel, ethanol, or biopetrol? So by using, especially by blending this into the diesel. So first they're starting it in an initial stages. Okay. So we have first generation biofuel. What is this first generation? Majorly from the food sources such as sugar, starch, vegetable oil, animal fats, such type of things. And second generation is from non-food crops, such as like not edible part of the crop. These are majorly edible edible part of the crops. These are non-edible part of the crops, like stem, husk, food waste or wood waste, such type of things, the fruit skins. So those things are used to produce ethanol, biodiesel, such type of products. And the third generation is from algae. And the fourth generation is, we ourselves produce such type of crops where they will take a huge amount of carbon. The huge amount of carbon is stored in the crops, and these crops are used to produce the biofuels. That is where this is fourth generation. See, we'll ourselves genetically will engineer such type of crops which will take huge amounts of carbon, and those crops will be, see what we are using here, we are using non-food crops. So we'll again use this methods to convert them into biofuels. Students, this can be a question. From the prelims perspective. So what is the first generation, what is the second generation, or which of the following are used for the producing of biofuels. So we won't expect algae in that. Okay. So I want you to go through these generation of biofuels. And next, future. For now we are blending 10%, 20%, 30% of blending this biofuels along with the diesels or the petrol. But later on we want to create an alternative to this diesels. Okay. So as I told you, we have a policy for this, National Biofuel Policy 2018. See, such type of programs are very important for us because to achieve our sustainable developmental goals, first one, and second, the agreements that we are dealt in the Paris Agreement that we signed. So to reduce the carbon footprint of India, these type of policies are very helpful because transportation sector contributes to pollution to a high amount. Okay. So we have seen the cases in Delhi also already. The National Biofuel Fuel Policy 2018 is aimed at reducing dependence on imports by encouraging fuel blending. So bioethanol, biodiesel, bio-CNG, so such type of fuels were generated and they will be used for blending. So the first one is ethanol blending program. So what is other thing that was under this policy? We have to generate an R&D in the feedstock so that the material, especially for the second generation, so we want to produce the material. And next, as I told you, 20% blending target for 2025. The policy also allows use of excess rice or damaged food grains as feedstock for ethanol production. But see, there is also a criticism for this point. So people, especially the Food Corporation of India, was asked to send these food grains to the feed or extra, that is spoiled rice or the damaged food grains to the second generation generating fuel bodies, biofuel bodies. But the issue over here is, it is also, the few people are worrying that it may also create dearth of rice in the market when we are using food crops to generate biofuels. Okay. So majorly they are trying to produce biofuel from the second generation. Next, introduction of more feedstock for production of biofuels. So this also comes under majorly Make in India. This production will also comes under special economic zones and export oriented units. Okay. So I want you to remember this National Biofuel Policy 2018. So it is majorly to reduce dependence on imports by encouraging fuel blending. What is our target? So 20% blending target for 2025. And what is this? Ethanol blending program. So for the ethanol blending program, so we will majorly encouraging for the second generation ethanol. So by using this feedstock material. Okay. Next, another important program and that going to help us for the ease of development, ease of business in India. So that was National Logistic Policy. So our Prime Minister launched this program, National Logistics Policy at New Delhi. We'll see what is this policy. So it is, see, the name itself is saying that easing the movement of goods and boosting the trade sector in the Indian economy. The name is logistics. So the logistics will come under, we have to move the goods, the seamless movement of goods in all the ways, all the ways of transportation, all modes of transportation, the road, railways, waterways, air cargo. Okay. So here the significance, the logistics accounts 13 to 14% of India's GDP. 13 to 14%, which is double the cost that will occur in developed countries. See, as I told you, we have to provide qualitative and quantitative examples or facts to substantiate our arguments. We can't simply say that it's a high cost in India. We have to say it is almost doubled when compared to the developing countries. To reduce this cost, see, when this cost was reduced, what will happen? The cost of our goods, our products will have more competitiveness. So they are ready to, the cost on our products will be reduced and they will be more competitive in the markets, either in India or in the outside the country. Okay. So earlier we used to rank 44th, now it is 25th. So we will remember this number. So the new logistic policy has 4 features. One is integration of digital systems. Integration, the name itself is saying that. So we are going to integrate 30 different systems of 7 departments. So what are those? Road, transport, railways, customs, aviation and commercial departments. So all these 7 departments were integrated digitally. So that is the first feature. And what is the second one? We want to develop an interface, unified logistics interface. So what is this interface one? To bring all the digital services of the transport sector on a single portal. See, you don't have to work hard to remember these things. So one is unified logistics, unified, so single portal interface. So it's a single portal to bring this transportation sector under one umbrella or one platform. Okay. Next, ease of logistics. So ease of logistics is majorly, it was for the industry associations to come to the government and get their grievances addressed. Okay. Next, system improvement group. The name itself is saying improvement. So what are the changes that need to be brought in this policy, or further what are the new rules need to be made, such type of things, or what are the processes that need to be improved for the cargo movement. Those things were there in this new logistics policy. So what is the benefits of this? What is the benefits of this? So first, it will help us to reach even to the last mile, boost the last mile connectivity, improve the competitiveness of Indian goods, and see better coordination among multiple stakeholders. Okay, and also helps for the logistic infrastructure development. Okay, so this is the major benefits of this NLP program. See, you don't need to buy hard this, you have to understand them. When we have a good logistics, what will happen? What will happen? So to develop this logistics, I need to have to develop a good infrastructure. So parallelly, good infrastructure in all the transportation sectors. Majorly, we have seen the 7 departments. So all the infrastructure will be developed. So last mile connectivity, okay, and ease of doing business will be improved in India. We can write that too. Okay. So such a way, see, competitiveness of Indian goods, we have already seen this point. So you can write these points on your own. So only thing that we have to remember here is, so these 4 features. See, it is very simple. Seamless movement of goods in our country. Why we need this policy? Because our cost was very high, double the amount which was cost in developed countries. So we want to reduce this. So we brought a policy, national logistic policy. What is the features of it? So it has 4 features. And what are the benefits of it? So it will be easy to remember. Okay. Not only these national logistic policy, we have followed or we brought many other programs to just make this logistics simpler. So we moved from 44th rank to 25th. Why? So we followed other programs. I want you to remember these also. PM Gati Shakti, that is National Master Plan for Multimodal Connectivity. That is very important. So, and also we are also having this 40 air cargo terminals have been constructed and 30 airports have been provided cold storage facilities. And next, see, waterways, we have to cover every modal. Waterways, eco-friendly waterways, so, and also effective transportation, cost-effective transportation, waterways. Why? Especially in the northeastern region and especially when you are moving along the Ganga. So you can cover major states. So if you have a good waterways over Ganga region. See, I'll bring the goods over here and I have to ship to the other places. So I need to have a good road constructions, and I also have to have a good railways. That is where this master plan for multimodal connectivity. Okay. Next, see, we also have e-Sanchit and faceless assessment for customs. We know this point. And next, there is also provision for e-way bills, FASTag. So those also very easy. They are also used to bring the efficiency in the logistics sector. We also have systems like GST, Unified Tax System, that also help further to bring seamless movement of goods in our country. And we also know there is Sagarmala and Bharatmala. These are all the important schemes that were brought to improve the logistics sector in India. Okay, please go through these points. So, but the major one about this program is these, if at all the question comes, what are the government activities or what are the government programs or the schemes or the steps taken by the government to improve the logistics sector in India. Next, PM Pranam scheme. So, it is, what is it? PM Promotion of Alternate Nutrients for Agriculture Management Yojana. So, what is happening under this scheme? So, to encourage states to cut down the use of fertilizers and promote healthy alternatives. Every year the government will assess the amount of fertilizers that were needed for each state, and then so accordingly they will procure that fertilizers, and then they will provide it in a subsidized rate to the farmers. So that is what the center does. So now what they want to do, the use of fertilizers is increasing every year. In all the states, it was increasing every year. So that is the reason why this program was brought, especially to encourage the states to cut down the use of fertilizers. When we cut down the use of fertilizers, what will happen? So soil fertility, more organic products, okay, and at the same time it will also move towards healthy alternatives, and it will also reduce the burden of subsidies. Okay, first of all, there won't be soil pollution or air or water pollution, and so less use of fertilizers. Another benefit was it will reduce the burden of subsidies on the exchequer. So now how it is going to encourage the states to do that? So first the center will compare the use of chemical fertilizers in a given year to its average usage in past 3 years. So it will compare. So whether they reduce it or not. How they will compare? By comparing it with the average of 3 years usage. This year usage plus average of 3 years usage, they will compare and they will determine whether they reduced it or not. So the fertilizer ministry, there was a dashboard. They are going to create a dashboard, integrated fertilizers management system. So where they will do the calculation. This is just a dashboard. So the major point that we have to remember over here is this. How they will determine whether they reduced the fertilizer use or not? By comparing them this year usage and to the past 3 years. So how it will be funded? So how this program is funded? So they are not giving any money right now. So what they will do is no separate funding. Whatever the money that was savings of existing fertilizer subsidy. So by encouraging the states, whatever the amount that was the use of fertilizers reduced, the amount that will be given to the states. And in that, how it will be given? 50% of the savings. So in the subsidy amount, 50%, whatever the reduced amount, whatever the savings from this subsidy, 50% of it will be passed on to states. And in that, 70% will be grant under the scheme would use to create assets related to using alternate fertilizers. 50% will be given to states. And again in that, whatever amount that went to the states, in that 70% they have to use it for the encouraging development of alternate fertilizers, and the rest of the 30 grant is to aid farmers and panchayat and other organizations, self-help groups, for encouraging them to reduce fertilizer use and generating awareness. 30% to create assets for alternate producers, 70%, and 30% for reducing fertilizers use and generating awareness among the farmers. Okay, is that clear? 50% of the savings will be given to states. What are the savings that was from the subsidies? So by encouraging the states, whatever the money that was saved for the central government, that will be given to states. In that, 70% to create assets and 30% to generate awareness and also to reduce fertilizer use by helping farmers and self-help groups. Why is it needed? As we know, so a 21% increase in the need of fertilizers. the state's demand for the state use of chemical fertilizers increased by 21%. So that is one reason for starting this program. So the price of the fertilizers was also increasing globally. See, we are importing this fertilizers, especially urea, such type of fertilizers we are importing, and those prices are increasing. When those prices are globally increasing, but we have to provide to the farmers in a subsidized amount. So this amount, the subsidized amount, the difference between the global price and the subsidized amount is increasing year by year. To reduce that also, this program is helpful. So Pusa biodecomposer. What is this Pusa biodecomposer? So in Delhi there is a place called Pusa. Okay. So where the Pusa Institute has generated an biodecomposer which was used in 5,000 acres paddy fields this year. We'll see. The Delhi is going to spray this biodecomposer over 5,000 acres. What is biodecomposer? See, it is an enzyme. So where we are using fungi to digest the cellulose, lignin, pectin in the paddy straw. Now, what is the major issue that is going around? The major issue, one of the major reason for the Delhi's pollution, it is stubble burning. Stubble burning. So the places around Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, those places are producing wheat, paddy. They grow wheat, paddy and everything, and after growing and after harvesting, they burn these stubble. So during especially when they harvest the wheat during the winter season, so they burn this stubble, and that is one of the reasons for the Delhi's pollution. So many programs were started to reduce this stubble burning, and one of them, it was biodecomposer. What is this biodecomposer? So now they will spray this biodecomposer over this stubble. So over a 15 to 20 days, this stubble will be decomposed. So the fungi in this decomposer, so what is this paddy straws will contain? It will contain this cellulose, lignin, pectin. This paddy straws will contain. It is on the general science textbooks, class 8 and 9. So what does the stems contain majorly? Cellulose, pectin. Remember? So these elements were decomposed by using fungi. Okay. So it was developed by the Indian Council of Agriculture Research in Pusa. Okay. It decomposes the stubble, turning it into manure. It also increases the soil fertility and prevents stubble burning and reduces air pollution. See, one of the major disadvantages of stubble burning is not only just pollution, it also affects the soil's fertility over the long time. So, by using this decomposer, it is turning it into a manure. So, it increases the soil fertility also. Okay. So, initially they tested it over the fields around this Delhi. Now, they are going to test it on, they are going to use it on a larger scale. Okay. So, it is a microbial solution which is expected to help with the decomposition of paddy stubble after the harvest. Next, how this solution was made initially. So, they used to bring these tablets from the Indian Agriculture Research Institute, and they will mix it with besan and jaggery to make a solution, and then they will spray. So, it will take 8 days to prepare this solution. They will create the tablets and they have to mix it with the besan and jaggery, and then they will make a solution. It takes 8 days to prepare the solution, and after that they will use it for the spraying. The 10 liters of the solution will be mixed with 200 liters of water. Fine. Now, what's happening? So, to reduce this time, now they want to reduce the time of this decomposition. First of all, this making process is difficult. So, they wanted to create an easy one that is easily transportable. Next, what is the challenge for this? The major challenge is the gap between the harvest and the sowing season. See, they are harvesting. They will harvest. And after harvesting, again they have to sow the seeds for the next season, right? So, this gap is very less. This this solution, this biodecomposer is taking 15 to 20 days to work. It's taking 15 to 20 days, that means almost 3 weeks to decompose the stubble. But the farmers are not having the time because the harvesting time and the gap between them is very less. So now the PUSA is trying to reduce this time period. So reduce this 15 to 20 days to very less time, so that the farmers, it will be encouraging the farmers to use. First of all, they are giving it for free. Again, at the same time, even if they are giving it for free, the farmers have to wait to sow the seeds. So that is the reason why. So there were still researches going on to reduce this time period. This is a challenge for this biodecomposer. It's a good solution, but there is a challenge which will eventually have to be addressed. You also have to learn what are the other measures taken by the Delhi government and also the central government to reduce the stubble burning around the Delhi region. Next, see, recently in the news we have seen many times ED. So they will go to houses, especially the opposition leaders' houses, and they're collecting the black money, and they were writing ED with that money. So we have seen many pictures in the papers or in the TV. So we might get a question, what is this enforcement directorate? See, UPSC will try to observe whether you're questioning the things or not. When you're seeing news, such type of news, you have to know who is this enforcement directorate, what is its work. Such type of questions should rise in your mind. Okay, for that, see, so it was a Directorate of Enforcement. It was started in 1956. Its headquarters is at New Delhi. What is the work of this enforcement? So it is multidisciplinary. We will see what is here multidisciplinary. So it is mandated. What is the work of this enforcement directorate? Investigation of offence of money laundering and violation of foreign exchange laws enacted in 202. So majorly it will deal with money laundering, and if at all, if any money comes through foreign exchange and there is an illegal work that was going through foreign exchange, those things are also comes under ED. So in which department it comes under? Department of Revenue, and the ministry is Ministry of Finance. Okay. So who is going to head this enforcement directorate? So the central government, on the recommendations of Central Vigilance Commissioner, he will give the reins to central government, and the central government will appoint an ED. So, and who is other officers? Vigilance Commissioners, Home Secretary, and Secretary of DOPT and Revenue Secretary, and the tenure will be of 5 years. So we can get a probable question about whether the following statements are right about enforcement directorate, because we are seeing it in news very regularly. Okay. Now, so what are the functions of it? It is a statutory body. So what is the functions of it majorly? FEMA. What is FEMA? Foreign Exchange Management Act. So this will, the money that is coming into India, that will need to be managed. So how it is coming, what is the legal source, which legal source it is receiving. So that such type of investigations have to be conducted by ED itself. So ED conducts investigations into the suspect contraventions of foreign exchange laws and regulations. It will also deals with Prevention of Money Laundering Act, okay, and also the Conservation of Foreign Exchange and Prevention of Smuggling Activities Act. So if at all any money laundering was done under this act or under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act or to the FEMA, this enforcement directorate will investigate into it and also try to retrieve the amount. Okay, it will survey, it will search, seize, arrest, persecution, action against offenders of Prevention of Money Laundering Act offence, and fugitive economic offenders. It was the recent act. So even under this, the enforcement directorate will look into this. Any flaws were there, so it will attach, it will also take the confiscated properties under this act. Next, so we have also seen in the news, so Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India has amended the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, especially to maximize the recovery. You will understand this sentence when you understand what is this IBC and what is this Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. So we'll see that, and then we'll come back to what in news. What is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code? First of all, so it was introduced in 2016. So when there was this bad loans, non-performing assets were increasing. So what is this non-performing assets? What is non-performing assets? Those, see, some people will not pay. After taking loans, they have to pay their EMIs to the bank. If the people are not paying the amount more than 90 days, if they're not paying the EMIs or the amount that need to be given to the bank for more than 90 days, that was considered as a non-performing asset or a bad loan. So over a time, what happened, especially after the recession and years, so the bad loans and the NPAs increased in our economic system, in our banking system. At that time, so they want to start a solution for this. So the insolvency bankruptcy, there's a code for this. What it will do, it provides a time-bound process to resolve insolvency. When it what is that? What is happening here? When a default in repayment, when they're not repaying, the creditors gain control over debtors' assets. See, when we are giving loan or when we are giving some money to or we are giving a credit to people. So what we'll do, we'll generally mortgage the assets or we'll take the properties. So when there is a default in repayment, what the creditors will do? They gain control over the debtors' assets and must take decisions to resolve the insolvency. So how to do that? So what are the steps? In what time we have to do? If there is any issue between the creditors and the money who take the one who are not paying, so what will happen? Whom they have to approach? Such type of code was there in this IBC. Is that clear? So how to resolve those? How to resolve this? How to sell the properties? What should be the plan? What is the time that need to be given? So whom they have to approach? All these things were given in this code. Okay. So rules. So in that the debtor and the creditor both can start the recovery proceedings against each other. Is that clear? So what is happening here? It's a time-bound process. What will happen in the time-bound process? So they will take the decisions how the insolvency should take place. How the insolvency should take place, that decisions will be taken under IBC. We'll see how that will take. Why do we need this code? Why do we need this? It took 4.3 years on an average. Against other countries such as United Kingdom, it will take 1 year for insolvency and bankruptcy. United States, it was America 1.5. In India, it was 4.3 years. See, especially the companies, it is an MS micro or small or medium enterprises or the big companies or even the individuals. So it is taking almost for the company for the insolvency or to the bankruptcy issues, it is taking around 4.3 years in India. It's a huge one. It is affecting the ease of doing business in India. Okay, for that reason, so we need this insolvency and bankruptcy code. So what is happening here? Who regulates this IBC proceedings? Who have to oversee it? Who have to give the rules? For that we have a board, okay, to oversee this proceedings. So, and a licensed professionals will administer the process, and the proceedings resolution process will be adjudicated by the National Companies Tribunal, Companies Law Tribunal for companies, and the Debt Recovery Tribunal for individuals. I'll show you. I'll show you the picture for it. There is a default. This individual is not paying or repaying the money. And this company is in insolvency or bankruptcy. So what they have to do? They have to file application at the authority. So whom is under who look after this individual's insolvency or bankruptcy issues? They'll come under Debt Recovery Tribunal. For the corporate persons, it is National Companies Law Tribunal. So if the issue is not solved at these levels, then they will appeal to the next level. And even when it is not solved over the next level, then it will go to Supreme Courts. Okay, is that clear? When there is a default, so this is the procedure how the adjudication or the judicial process adjudication will go on. Here for the individuals it was Debt Recovery Tribunal, and for the companies it was National Companies Law Tribunal. So when the company become insolvent, what they have to do? The company taken over by insolvency professionals. As I told you, so there will be an licensed professionals, insolvency professionals, and there will be an agency also. So to provide these professionals, so there will be an professionals. So the committee of creditors. So whoever gave money to this company, these people gave money to this company. Now this company is not working well because of different reasons. Now it becomes insolvent. So now what they have to do? These creditors have to come together and they have to decide a plan. How to bring this from the insolvency. See, insolvency means at the verge of not working very well, you can say in simple terms. So they have to come with a plan, whether they want to sell it to someone else, the whole company, or whether they want to bring some changes. So, or how to recover the money. These people have to come with a insolvency plan. The 75% of creditors by value have to reach a plan in 180 to 270 days. Within these days, these creditors, most of the creditors, 75% of these creditors has to come together and make a plan. When they reach a plan, that will be implemented. When they fail to reach a plan, so then it will go to liquidation of company. That means the company will be sold. See, I'm an investor. I invested in some company. So I trusted it. It could be an academy, it could be Baiju or whatever the company. So suppose they went into insolvency. So the creditors has to come together and they have to make a plan. Whether they want to sell some part of it, only one department of it to make the money. From that money they want to revive this company again. So there could be different ways. They have to come with a plan. If they are failed to come with a plan within 180 days, because we know what will happen is a time bound. Under this insolvency code is time bound. So within 180 days, if they are not able to come with a plan, then it will go under liquidation. Okay. So what the recent changes? What is the recent changes over here? See, they want to speed up this process. So they said it will allow creditors to sell assets separately when a resolution plan has not been received. When there is no plan, the creditors have to come with a plan within a time. When they were not able to come with a plan as a whole, it will allowing them to sell assets. Second, see, there are professionals, resolution professionals. So their payment should be on the performance based. Okay. And see, this as an amendment bill was in 2021. What it is saying? Pre-packaged insolvency resolution process. They want to make a pre-packaged. So if at all, if the company, especially MSMEs, if they are going under bankruptcy or insolvency, so what should be the process? So that will be pre-packaged, packaged insolvency resolution. So there is known as pre-packs. So what is the significance of it? It reduces the time and cost of bankruptcy resolution, ease of doing business will be improved, and also the behavioral changes among the debtors for early resolution. And what are the challenges? The recovery rates are very low, especially the SBI complained about it. So under this code or under this process, so we're just looking into resolving the issue. But what is the recovery rate? SBI gave loans to people, MSME companies or the many enterprises. So what is the recovery rate when they went into insolvency? How much amount this bank is getting back? How this issue is resolved by these professionals? The recovery rate is less, and there are delays in adjudication, and there is no standardized cross-border insolvency. So when it is involved in 2 or more countries, then it is creating more problematic to solve this issues, and lack of professionalism among IPs and the IP agency. Okay, so there's a good chances of question coming from this insolvency and bankruptcy. So this is also another topic that was in news. So lumpy skin disease. What is lumpy skin disease? It is a contagious viral disease that spread among the cattle through mosquitoes, flies, lice and wasps by direct contact and also through contaminated food and water. It's like smallpox and chickenpox virus. So it is attacking the cattle. So the outbreak started in Gujarat, Rajasthan, and now it spread to Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Andaman, Nicobar and Uttarakhand by early August. Now it is in Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh. So almost central and the northern country was attacked by this viral. Many cattle died in this because of this virus. See, sorry, this is lakh. 18.5 lakh cattle affected across the country, and among this 12.5 are from Rajasthan only. See, majorly this question could be from the prelims perspective only, this topic. So what is the symptoms? High fever, reduced milk production, nasal discharge from the eyes and the nose. There is a huge discharge of water. So skin nodules. So over the skin of this cattle there was nodules. So it's a huge suffering for these animals also. So please go through the symptoms. See how we are tackling this. We are giving a vaccination, goat pox vaccination. This is given, which is a 100% effective one, and we also over 1.5 crores doses have been already administered to the cattle, and lumpy pro vaccine int. So this is an vaccination that was discovered, indigenously developed one. So 2 companies were already developing this vaccines so that will be speedily given to the cattle in the other regions also. Okay. So guys, there is Dharmashala Declaration, which is an important one from the tourism perspective. So it is majorly for sustainable and responsible tourism. So to bring, to encourage the global tourism. So to contribute to the global tourism, so we are also contributing towards sustainable and responsible tourism. So please go through this Ambedkar circuit. Like Ambedkar circuit, we also have already in implementation, we have Ramayana, Buddhist and Northeast circuits were already developed. So for the Ambedkar circuit is the fourth one. Ramayana, Buddhist, Northeast circuits, and now Ambedkar circuit. So it includes Janmabhoomi, it's a place of Ambedkar's birthplace, and then we have Diksha Bhoomi, which is in Nagpur, Mahaparinirvana, the place where he passed away. So, and here the cremation, Chaitya Bhoomi, it was in Mumbai, his cremation place. So these are the 4 places that will be covered under Ambedkar circuit. A special AC train was proposed for this Ambedkar circuit. So from where actually this circuit started? So this is the one which we have to remember, Swadesh Darshan scheme. So what is this scheme? So under this scheme, they are developing theme-based tourist circuits. Under this scheme, they are developing theme-based tourist circuits. So there were 15 tourist circuits. So Ramayan, Buddhist, Coastal Circuit, Desert, Eco, Heritage, Northeast, Himalayan, Sufi, Krishna, Rural, Tribal, Tirthankaras. So these are the major circuits. So that they want to develop. In the 15 circuits, they already had developed 4, including the Ambedkar circuit. And now to develop these 15 circuits, they already started 76 projects that was majorly around these circuits, like rail connectivity, road connectivity. This is already started for this 15 tourist circuits. So, and it also Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Skill India, Make in India. Tourism is a sector that can employ semi-skilled personnel. So it's the sector will have a huge potential to take a semi-skilled people. So for that reason, the government is concentrating. See, because many people every year, because we are a democratic dividend phase, many people are entering into the workforce, that age group. So for that reason, we have to provide employment. And this is tourism is a sector which have a huge potential to provide employment for the semi-skilled people. So for that, we have Swadesh Darshan scheme. So under that, which will also include they are all integrated. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Skill India, Make in India, all these are included, and also to provide the employment. So Indian nutrition rating. Nutrition rating starts to appear soon on the food pack labels. So around this food pack, we have this label which was given by Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. So these they gave a notification that a company has to provide a rating. And what rating they have to provide? On this, based on the sugar, salt and fats, based on it. So they have to provide a rating for the nutrition. Besides this label, they have to provide. So 0 is unhealthy, 5 is healthy. And then from the nutrition perspective, saturated fat, sugars, sodium, fruit and vegetables, nuts, legumes, millets. So what are the dietary products that were available? So based on that, they have to provide a rating. So besides that label, they have to give the rating. Okay. So we have to learn about Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. So under this act, so it was formed. So what is this? Majorly for the formulation and enforcement of food safety standards in India. Who will maintain the food safety standards? And not only that, they'll also appoint authorities at the state level, and it will come under Ministry of Health and Welfare. So they'll do the science-based standards they'll bring. They'll also regulate manufacturing, how the storage conditions should be, how the storage standards, distribution standards, imports and sales of food, everything will be taken care by this FSSAI, and also to facilitate the safety of food. So the question is not majorly revolving around the nutrition rating. The question is majorly will be from the prelims perspective on the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. It's a statutory body under this act. What are its functions? What is it? So what does it do? So at every step, the manufacturing, storage or distribution or import or in the sales of the food. So this body will maintain the standards. Okay. And it is under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. But this point, the nutrition rating, that point we can use as an example, or you can say to substantiate any arguments. So, or what are the steps taken by the government? From that perspective, we can write such type of points in essay or in paper 2 or paper 3. So wherever it is necessary, we can provide that as an example. India is also giving a nutrition rating. So we are moving towards a healthy lifestyle. So you can include such type of points. Okay. So dugong, which is also known as sea cow. It was in the news. So it was in the conservation. Tamil Nadu notified a park at the Park Bay to conserve this dugong, also known as sea cow. What is this dugong? The dugong is the only existing herbivorous mammal that lives in the sea. A marine herbivorous mammal. So herbivorous means what it eats. The food, seagrass. Habitat, so it won't go deep into the oceans. It will be on the coastal areas, shallow water. So what it does, it goes down, it eats grass, seagrass, and after 6 minutes, roughly around 6 minutes, it will come to the surface to get the air. So it won't be on the deep waters, it will be on the shallow coastal waters. Okay, and they are found in over 13 countries, but majorly in the Gulf of Mannar in India, Gulf of Kutch, Park Bay, and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands will find this animal. Okay. See, this could be a probable environmental question from the prelims perspective. This status is vulnerable under IUCN list, and under Wildlife Protection Act, it was under Schedule 1 category. So under this act, it was conserved. See, when we are developing or when we are protecting or conserving a mammal or a flagship species or umbrella species, what will happen? So the ecosystem around it or the other species in the food chain will also be protected, will also be conserved. So when we want to protect the dugong, we have to protect the seagrass. So when we protect the seagrass for the dugong, when we protect the seagrass, what will happen? So many other marine species, small fishes, so algae and all these things also depend on the seagrass. Okay, so we protect the seagrass and then we'll protecting the other fishes. So we'll protect the food chain. So that lifespan is around 70 years. The height will be around 13 feet around. So they'll vary around 270 to 400 kgs. So they are known as we know, it's a sea cows. So they use these clefts or upper lips to eat the seagrass. It's a state animal of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. This is another important point of this dugongs. So what is the threat? See, first of all, its habitat. What is its habitat? Seagrass beds. The seagrass beds. So these are loss of these beds. So especially by constructing the buildings or degradation of coastal ecosystems. So the seagrass beds were lost when there is no beds. So the dugongs were lost. So water pollution, loss of these seagrass. So due to developmental activities, degradation of coastal ecosystems. So they are also victims of accidental entanglement in fish nets and collisions with the trawlers. These are the threats for this dugongs. Okay. So this is all the points that were required for the dugong from the prelims perspective. Okay. So whenever you are learning an animal, what we have to do? See, we have to understand in what environment it will survive. What is the habitat? So when we understand the habitat, it will be easy to understand the distribution of that animal. The shallow waters where we need the Gulf of Mannar or the you can say Park Bay, Gulf of Kutch. So where this animal survives. So habitat, food, under which category does it come under IUCN, and also we also have to understand what are the reasons or what are the reasons that affecting this animal. Okay, so or you can say threats. Okay guys, as I said earlier, so for the rest of the 3 topics, you please refer so Vishnu IAS YouTube channel, so where we are providing this 15 to 20 minute small videos on the detail based issues. These are largely fact based issues. For the detail based, so you please go through the videos. Okay, thank you.